I was busy thinking about boys. I was busy dreaming about boys. Head is spinning thinking about I need that bad boy to do me right on the.
Ah, shit, I forgot about that.
I love that intro. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Picture This, kind of. We're taking a gap week while some of our more egalitarian members are off on vacation. And we do genuinely, despite the fact that all of the evidence, we do actually like having Adelaide and Coho's opinion on stuff. So what we decided to do is we just take a week break, let them go on their little vacation or whatever, let them go to Disneyland or whatever. And we decided to bring you a new show that we're going to do as infrequently, hopefully, as possible. Whenever we need to do the show, we'll have to do it, I guess. Unless we do a different show. Who knows? Who knows how many intros Jack will have to make this year? Or next year. We're going to be friends, hopefully, for a very long time. We decided to bring you the Hunky Boys date night. Here's what's happened. Each of us has picked a movie for a date night. We're going to describe the movie we're going to review. We're going to give you a pros and cons, and then we're going to put up a poll and let you decide which date you'd rather go on. So this is going to get weirdly competitive between the three of us. And here's the fucked up part is we've all picked really good movies. We've all done a really good job, actually. It was really fucked up. Anyway, my name is Alex. I am your geek boyfriend. With me is your film Twitter boyfriend. That's Matthew Chen. And over here next to me is the boyfriend that makes all the intros. We're your three internet boyfriends, and today we're here to talk to you about three very specific movies. We're going to talk about Little Italy, we're going to talk about Your Name, and we're going to talk about When Harry Met Sally. I don't know where we should start, fam. How about this? We'll start with Little Italy because I think it's the best one, and I want to give.
This was your idea, so you can start.
Yeah, it was. This disaster is my idea. So I guess I'll have to start. Little Italy is a 2018 movie starring Hayden Christensen. Stay with me. Hayden Christensen and Emma Roberts. I describe it in my Letterboxd review. Some of you probably saw it as Romeo and Juliet plus pizza minus murder. And that's, I think, a strong description for this movie. It is also probably top 5 horniest movies you'll see this year. I mean, it depends on who you are as a person, but like when I watched this movie with Jack last night, Jack has this thing that he says whenever he's shocked by a movie. He says, "I'm sorry, what?" The "I'm sorry, what" counter was like at an all-time high. Like, just really, we've seen like 20 movies together. This was like a new record for the "I'm sorry, what" counter. Basically, it follows the story of Hayden Christensen, who comes from one family, and Emma Roberts comes from the rival family. The families used to own a pizza shop together. Then the pizza shop split into 2 different pizza shops as the patriarchs had a kind of falling out, a disagreement on something. And Emma Roberts has to come home for a visa issue to Toronto's neighborhood of Little Italy, as is the title of the film. And basically, they see each other and they're like, "Hey, do you want to have chemistry for like 2 hours? Let's fucking do this." And it's there, I said Hayden Christensen, and a lot of people that conjures up a lot of negative emotions for some of you. But I want you to know that he's actually really good in Little Italy. Not as much in some other things, but he's really good in Little Italy. And Emma Roberts is also really good in Little Italy. It's also littered with really fun side characters. All the family members are really fun. There's some also just like some random side characters. Luigi. Yeah, Luigi, the Italian Asian man, Luigi.
Gay too.
Yeah, the gay
Italian
Asian Italian man, who is the bar owner. He has exactly one scene, but there is a fantastically weird character played by someone, I don't even know who this actor is, who it just shows up to be a potential love interest for Emma Roberts. He shows up, grabs his crotch, asks if your grandmother is going to die soon, and then sniffs Emma Roberts' shoe, and then is out.
This is not wrong. This is an
that character's
thing that happens in the movie.
He just disappears afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, there's the family members who Alyssa Milano is one of them, and she's fantastic. The two rival families are great, and they're besides the parents, each family has one grandparent left who are also going through their own love story, trying to figure that out at the ripe old age of old. And their story is actually also really sweet as they try to kind of navigate that relationship. And eventually the families find out about both relationships, and they're like, yeah, I guess. And it all heads up in guys, I've said it before. It all comes down to a pizza making contest. If you want me to care about your movie, tell me that there's a contest at the end of it, because then I have to care. Legally, I have to care. And this one has a pizza making contest, and the losing family has to leave town. And it's great. If you're a fan of Luca and all of the like random Italian that they throw into that script for no reason, might I suggest to you Little Italy, where they just throw in little bits of Italian for some reason that I don't speak Italian, but I think a lot of it makes sense. They just call each other like idiots in Italian or something, and it's great.
Yeah, pretty much
all the time. And then they just do like cheeses, and it's great. More on Little Italy later. Who's next to give us their intro? Let's do Matthew.
Okay. Well, the problem with talking about your name is that I think it's best to like not know what it's about, because I feel like the best experience to watch your name is like,
okay. Let's give him like a quick. Give him like a quick.
Mild spoilers ahead, because I feel like if you haven't seen it, then like
spoiler alert for this
movie.
Yeah.
Basically, it's about these two high schoolers, Mitsuha and Taki, and basically they just suddenly start switching bodies, and you don't really know what's happening at first, but then they kind of got like, as well as the characters, like they don't really know what's happening, and they're like experiencing these different lives. Both are in different towns, and it's just this like really, really sweet where they're like kind of doing stuff in their lives that kind of like change. I just think it's like a super, super sweet romance. Then there's a twist that I don't want to talk about because I feel like that but I feel like there's only so much I can say about this movie without going into
but it's a body swap movie, just to start.
And just so you know, we will be going more into depth about these films, so we probably will be talking spoilers at some point, so y'all know. But yeah, so that's a good little intro to your name, and I guess we'll go to mine now, which was When Harry Met Sally. And so I did something different than these two. They both picked movies they had seen before and loved. I picked a movie I had never seen and decided, this has been called one of the greatest romance movies ever made. I'll go with this one. And I had a great time with it. It's about two characters, Harry and Sally. They meet after they graduate from college together, and they're together for a drive to New York. And unlike most romance movies where it's love at first sight, they hate each other, or at least Sally hates Harry for the first time they meet. And then they don't see each other for another 5 years, and they still don't get along. It's not till the next time they meet, another 5 years later, when they actually start to become friends. And it's them trying to maintain a friendship with each other without falling in love or having sex with each other. And it's a beautifully touching movie. There's moments in it where I'm not sure whether I should be laughing or tearing up. A lot because Billy Crystal's just delivery of some of his lines. It's really great. But yeah, so it's just about these two people through their lives trying to stay friends without falling in love or having sex. But it's and spoiler alert, they eventually do fall in love, and it's a beautiful film. So yeah, those are the 3 movies we picked.
They also are trying to set up their friends together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which Jack, can I please tell them the story?
Which one?
The late reveal. The late was like the late discovery.
It was an hour and 18 minutes in. Yes.
Okay, it took an hour and 18 minutes. Because I watched the back half of this movie with Jack, right? We were watching it together, and I was just kind of like, I'd seen it before, so I was like, just moving around. And Jack goes, "Who is this? Who is that? Who is?" And I was like, "Who?" And there's only like one person on screen, so I figure he's talking about this character. And I go, "Her?" And he goes, "Yeah, who is that?" And I think this is like about the wedding scene where you're at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I go, "You mean Carrie Fisher?"
I'm like, I had no clue. I had no clue she was in this movie. For years, I had never heard anything about Carrie Fisher being in When Harry Met Sally. I'm like, I know I recognize this person. Why do I recognize this person?
I just couldn't stop laughing. Now we buried Jack, so I think it's only fair that we bury somebody who was not here to defend themselves. This is funnier. When we watched, when I first watched Little Italy, I guess this is also a Jack story too, because he didn't know. We're just burying Jack today. When we watched Little Italy, when I watched Little Italy for the first time, and when I watched it with Jack, I got to be there for a very specific moment in Adelaide's life and Jack's life when they found out that Julia Roberts and Emma Roberts are related, and I think that's special. Look at his face. Okay, so we said we're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna rate these movies on just a few scales here. And this is where I think some of your movies are going to start to fall apart. Not for nothing, but I think y'all forgot the metrics that we graded on. So we decided on exactly 3 metrics.
Well,
cheese.
You did.
Yeah, but okay, hang on, executive producer.
Yeah, they're
Matthew Chen had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah,
because he was not there when we designed the show. But executive producer of the show, Jack Pinchuk here, absolutely did, because this is a group effort. We're grading these movies on 3 scales. One is cheese.
Cheesiness.
You want a little bit of cheese, like pizza. We're also going to be grading them on romanticism. That's how you say it, Jack? Because I couldn't say it before.
Romanticism, I don't care. Something like
because this is the Hunky Boys date night, we're also going to be grading them on a scale of hunk. And this is where it gets really interesting. Not for nothing, I don't think that there's a lot of cheese in Your Name. I'm just gonna say it. I think Your Name is really straightforward, actually, kind of. Jack, do you agree?
Yeah, it's not a very cheesy movie, but it's I'll tell you this, it's going to dominate in a different category a little bit.
Yeah, no, Your Name has its day coming up.
It's
soon,
not
but
cheese, but there's humor. There's a lot of
humor,
but it's not cheese.
It's not cheesy humor, but there's humor in it, and it's
I think we're all thinking of the same thing specifically.
Everything with the sister.
Yeah, the sister is really kind of the source of comedy. And she's great. I love the sister.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
All right, Jack, you're on trial here now a little bit. When Harry Met Sally, it's like medium cheese.
Yeah,
it's like medium cheese.
Light cheese. It's light cheese.
I think like When Harry Met Sally is like early attempt at cringe comedy where you're stuck with these two, and they're not having like big moments. They're just having conversations over like several years. The problem is one of them is an abject weirdo who starts conversations in as rude and weird a manner as possible. Honestly, it was a lot like looking at myself. Oh, that's the meanest thing I've ever said about myself. Matthew, what do you think? What's the cheese level of When Harry Met Sally?
There's a little bit. Like I agree with you. I think especially like Nora Ephron when she's writing, I think there's like a little bit in there, but I feel like there's it's still pretty straightforward. I think just the dialogue is just very realistic.
What do people talk about when it's just the two of them and they One thing I do like is that they actually do like, it's not a dry script. Like you definitely laugh, but you're not laughing at like jokes. You're just laughing at why would he say that out loud with his face? That's absolutely absurd. I do love that. So in that essence, like I should say this, I loved all of the movies that we watched for this for the first date. Yeah, this whole thing is great. And now it's my turn. So y'all, how cheese was Little Italy?
Oh, good Lord. Let's talk about how cheesy this movie is.
There's a lot of pizza.
There's a lot of pizza.
Oh, yeah. A lot of pizza. A lot of weed, too, in the movie, honestly.
There's
in the
weed.
one scene. Just in the one scene, but there's a lot of it in that scene.
Really smart plan to put weed in your opponent's pizza so that they order more pizza. Really good idea.
They got arrested, though, so that...
that's the bit. Hang on. Okay, there's a scene, for the uninitiated, there's a scene where weed is snuck in place of oregano for someone's sauce. The point of the scene is that the order that they were making was going to the police station. So they had they had dosed the entire police station. That's like the gag of the scene. And then the cops show up and arrest people. And then it's that scene, by the way, has the worst thing that's in all of these movies. The worst thing that's in all of these movies is Hayden Christensen getting sexually assaulted for like 2 full minutes.
He gets so long. It goes on for so long.
For like 2 minutes from a cop.
He gets pushed up against the wall by this female officer who just starts. Oh my goodness! You're packing some serious guns. You better have a permit for these. And you just sit there and watch because Movie Pox took away its
very
peanut
uncomfortable.
function. Hang on. So what? How much cheese are we giving? Where are we at on the cheese?
I think one of my favorite lines, I think it's in the trailer, is like, "Afraid you might get wet."
Oh.
And here's the thing. It's said with such confidence. Hayden Christensen, who I think is
there's like a pause there, and then he says,
"You afraid
what?
to get what?"
And then the woman next to Emma Roberts is like, "I am." It's like,
and then she Jack Pinchucks herself, where she's like, "Wait, what? Why did I say that? No,
I'm sorry. What?
What?" Oh my god.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, this is the ultimate experience. So I think y'all have to make a decision. Low cheese, high cheese.
This is the ultimate cringe.
This is high cheese. Yeah, for sure.
All right, in the area of cheese, I think we can very safely say that Little Italy, lots of cheese.
Yeah.
When Harry Met Sally, medium cheese, and Your Name, a little bit of cheese. Just a sprinkling of cheese. That leads us to the area of romanticism, and we're just gonna get Your Name out of the way. I think Your Name is the best one. Your Name is the best one.
I think it goes Your Name, and then just behind When Harry Met Sally, and then a little further down Little Italy.
Yeah, I think that's almost certainly the way that it has to be for this. Just to bring up Your Name talk about Your Name for a little bit. Your Name is great. And it's these two develop a relationship that's in terms of like what's going on, and again, I'm not gonna crazy spoiler it, but in terms of what's going on, they figure out a way to make this work.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, they leave each other messages. They, you know, each like diary out. She like messes with him in
In his life,
because
it's like,
yeah, she messes up with his life in ways that are like positive and also not positive.
Mhm.
And he tries to, they do this in as a respectful way as possible, in a way that like I think most freaky, like most body switch movies that are like, I think at least most of them that I've seen, you switch within the same gender.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually.
Which flipping it has like, you have, there's just things you have to address. There's things you have to address. And
And
they
address it well.
they figure it out in as respectful a way as possible.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Ooh, I'll ask that in a second. And then just like as the story ends, it actually is very, very, very sweet. Just very, very nice. That's why I think like low cheese, I think, has like a bad connotation to it, but like I mean it as like a positive. Like if it were cheesy, it would be bad.
Yeah, that's true.
In the case of Your Name, if it were cheesy, you'd be like, okay, you didn't have to do that, but okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm losing this round, so like I guess we just talk about Little Italy. I'm gonna fight for romanticism a little bit, because I agree that it's Your Name, When Harry Met Sally, but I don't think it's like that far down. I think for me this works because I'm a big fan, and stay with me because I'm gonna have to explain the concept. I'm a big fan of the little kid date. What I mean when I say that is I'm a big fan of like having a date where you're just doing something that you're both fond of. I think like have we all dated someone from childhood, or is it just me that has done that?
Just you,
Just
I
you.
think.
Oh my god. So okay, so to explain the little kid date for you two, then in Little Italy, and I guess part of the film I'm going to explain. In Little Italy, Emma Roberts and Hayden Christensen, at the start of the film when they're still kids, it's like the intro to the movie is them running around the neighborhood, and they're like pulling pranks. They're like they're just going about their day in like a nondescript way, and they're just like hanging out, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they go on, basically they do the exact same thing in like the second half of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But this time there's like an implied romanticism to it. Like this time it's actually romantic. They're like out shopping together. They're out like picking up stuff. They're gonna still do like pull a prank on someone, but it's like they're just taking it now, and they're adding a different context to it. That's what I think the little kid date is. So you've met up with someone from your past, and now you're like addressing like an old tension that you like just now figured out or whatever. That's the little kid date.
Okay.
And it's like it's familiar and reassuring, but it's also like a little bit like intimidating and scary because like you don't know if this is going to work out. And that's what Hayden Christensen is going through when they like go back to his place. Is he's in this like, I don't know what to do next about this. And he's great in it, and Emma Roberts is great in that scene too. But there's that and the stuff with the grandparents, I think, gives it a little bit of like life to this movie, and like a definite sense of romanticism. I'm going to argue for a little bit of romanticism in Little Italy.
Okay.
I don't know. It's your scale. You have to figure it out.
I mean, I get it, but I don't like. There's moments where they have great chemistry, and there's moments where Hayden Christensen kind of just falls flat for me, like at the end with the speech at the airport.
Sure.
I'm just like, yeah.
Not a
that's
verbal
where,
I mean, some of the cheese can like bring the romanticism down.
Exactly.
That's fair.
And that's what I think about this movie. So I think that's why I think it's a more sizable gap between When Harry Met Sally and Little Italy. is because the cheese does bring it down quite a bit. So, what's next?
But you know, you know what brings up the romanticism? The old couple.
Yeah,
That's
old
true.
couple's great.
That's true. Carlo and I can't remember her name.
Franca?
Yeah, Franca and Carlo.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're great. They're the most wholesome couple in that movie.
And Carlo's played by Danny Aiello, which is crazy.
Wait, what? Oh wow. Didn't realize.
Texas doesn't notice casting in
He
movies.
just doesn't.
He
doesn't.
Texas lost.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So when Harry Met Sally is kind of a hard movie for me to romanticize, kind of. I know that Matthew's gonna disagree, but like so much of it is them being friends that like I think like the first half of it, you think like, oh, these two should never be together. But because of the nature of the movie and how many like time jumps there are in it, by like the midway point, you're like, they should make out. They should they should make out, and it should be soon. Like definitely they should 100%. They should definitely make out. So I'd still say it's romanticism high, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what Matthew.
Yeah, because I think the flow of them going from hating each other to being friends to being lovers is like it's very natural, and it flows like really well. And so, like the chemistry.
I would say mid to high.
I'd say higher, just because I think it's a very natural progression with the romance. I think it's a very believable buildup with the romance, where they go from absolutely hating, well, Sally anyways, absolutely hating Harry at the beginning, and Harry not really giving a shit about Sally, to them eventually realizing that they're the ones for each other, and that's where I think it gets really high romanticism or romantic points for that. I think the fact that it pulled it off as well as it did earns those points for me.
Yeah. Speaking of final speeches, Harry's is better.
Harry's is better than Hayden Christensen's, and I will hear no argument.
Nah, it is. It's also like way more specific. That's part of the thing that helps with the romanticism is that like his is way more specific to Sally than anything that's in like than anything that's in Little Italy. So yeah, exactly. I absolutely agree.
But if you want to talk about romantic love towards pizza, we have a winner.
Oh my god, so much pizza! Oh my, like y'all, let's get some pizza going.
Honestly, I might grab a pizza after this.
I honestly probably.
I was watching it. I was like, I want to order some pizza now. It's a really good advertisement for pizza.
I honestly like watching that movie made me miss New York, because I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was there, I ate a shit ton of pizza.
It's weird because this movie's set in Toronto, and
I know, but it made me miss New York, because the pizza in that movie reminded me of the pizza that I had in New York, like all the time. And it's like,
okay,
I don't know why, but it's great.
Yeah, the pizza looked great. We're all gonna get the slice later.
And it's never specifically said that it's in Toronto. I was like, oh,
yes,
is this? Why is there? You sure? Because I'm like, there's a Canadian flag here. They've never said they're in like Canada.
They said they're in Toronto, but
when? I don't remember that.
You just weren't paying attention, Jack.
We're gonna watch it again tonight. We're gonna live stream us watching Little Italy.
Oh dear God!
So I need to see the old couple hook up again. All right.
You can see them.
So Your Name definitively takes this. Though Harry Met Sally is kind of lagging, kind of right behind it. And then Fat from All the Pizza, just a little bit behind that. We stopped for a pizza break. We stopped to go to church. It was Little Italy. So that leaves us the final criteria, the best criteria, really, if you think about it, the one we've named our show after. That leaves us just the criteria of hunk. And I'm just gonna say it. Little Italy probably wins this one too. Okay. Hang on, Matthew.
Okay. Good.
I think Taki's not as hunky as the two of us. I think Billy, I think Harry, and I think Hayden Christensen, I think have got him on in terms of hunk. I think this is my opinion, of course. I'm wondering what Jack thinks. I think Taki's too shy to be hunky. Jack.
And I agree with that.
Billy's kind of fugly.
I
There, I said it.
okay. Here's the thing. Wait, who?
Harry. Harry's kind of.
Okay. I thought you said something else, and I was like,
Yeah.
wait,
Harry's kind of fugly. I
disagree. Like, I don't think he's the most handsome man in the world, but like I don't think he's ugly.
Let's pile up on Matthew because he's.
What about when Mitsuha takes over Taki's body? How does that increase his hunk level?
Yeah, when there's a completely different person in his body. Yeah, he's a little bit more hunky. But I will say that the date that he goes on in the movie, the person that likes him more as Taki, I think, than with Mitsuha and In. She like noticed him because he like did this thing for her that he wasn't normally able to do. But I think she does like the like shy, like kind of person that he was before. It's just she finally noticed him and like gave him a chance because of the other thing. I could be wrong. I've only seen it once, and even then, it was very serious. Jack, help! Yeah. You're of absolute no help right now.
What do you want me to say? You're
is
pretty
Taki
much
hunky. This is a 3-person show.
I said I agree with you earlier, but like
let's look up what hunk means.
When it's Taki and not Mitsuha as Taki. No. When it's Mitsuha as Taki, more, but still no. Still not as much.
We might have to rename our show. Hunky, I'm getting a vague definition as large, strong, typically used of a man. And I'm just gonna say it. That's not Taki. I love Taki, I really do.
Well, I would also say that's not Harry as well.
That's true. Let's team up on him now. Have you? The Your Name Coalition. The Your Name Little Italy coalition has started now. I mean, he's like fit. In terms of like Billy Crystals. He's like fit. He's active. He walks. He power walks.
But is he hunky?
But he's not like hunky.
Really.
He's more of like if anything, he's more of like a dorky, like just random edgelord that they found for this movie. Is he a hunk? Jack, is he a hunk? Defend your boy.
That's the thing. I picked this movie without having seen it, knowing the criteria. And I don't think I can defend this aspect of the film or this criteria that we're putting the film in. Because Harry, not super hunky. I will say he has a lot of success with women, but he's not like a super hunky guy.
An inexplicable amount of success with women.
So I think that earns him some points.
I agree.
He does have a lot of success with women. More success with women than I imagine Hayden Christensen has in Little.
Let's talk about that, actually. Because Hayden Christensen, not for nothing, but in Little Italy, Emma Roberts is like the side piece, kind of. Because there's also like a different woman.
And actually shows up in one scene.
Yeah, but even in the intro where he's just like walking around town, like people stay hitting on Hayden Christensen in a way that I don't believe in real life. But I also know that Hayden Christensen is like 6'2" or something. Like he's a large dude, right? Yeah. He's Darth Vader. He's an enormous guy. So I think this is. I mean, y'all. I don't get a choice on how hunky all the things are, but like, let's just start with Billy. Let's start with Harry, who is decently hunky.
Yeah,
he has hunky moments. He has some hunky traits. I think it's like low hunk. is what I will say. Taki's
As
like
opposed to Taki, who has none, pretty
No.
much.
Well, you
He's-
can't. You also have
the
to
thing is
include
the
Mitsuha
plot makes him
Taki.
hunky half the time. Is the
Mhm,
problem?
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. You have to include both metrics in there.
That's true. Yeah,
when you talk
Mitsuha
about
does
Taki.
bring that up quite a bit, but
Mid
just
hunk.
Taki on his own has none, and that's.
You have
Yeah,
to
he's
factor
too
both.
shy boy.
However,
You
I
have
do
to
still
factor
think Harry is second above Mitsuha as Taki or at plus Taki as Taki because Harry does have a lot of success with women for some
That's
reason.
true. He
But
does have a lot of success with women.
so I do put him second because of that. But I think we can agree Hayden Christensen takes the cake for this one, unfortunately. I have to stop letting my hatred of Star Wars Episode 2 blind me
Just
towards
accept
Hayden
it.
Christensen.
Yeah, Hayden
Christensen
Christensen
is
is good. You've seen it. You know, I think that fake
He's
Italian
not
accent-
the worst actor ever. I'll say that.
You just gotta play to
He's-
his strengths.
I will say,
he's
I
a
will
handsome
say,
man.
massive difference between Episode 2 and Episode 3 Star Wars, but
Yeah.
he's not as good in Little
He's-
Italy as he is in Episode 3 of Star Wars. So
He shouldn't
I'll put it
say
at that.
many words, but he should like emote. He should emote because he's like good at his face. He's good at face.
He can say words
Um,
as long as they're in an Italian accent.
I'll be honest. I don't think his Italian accent is very good. He's like, he's like,
But, like-
this ain't oregano. It's like the worst Italian in the movie. He's like the worst Italian accent.
It just like goes
in
on
the
in and
whole-
out. Like he does. It's not consistent, but it's great.
What do you want me to do? Grow my own food? I'm not ready for that. All right.
Anyway.
Okay, so
Are you
just to
okay,
recap-
Alex? Are you
Sorry.
okay?
I love, I love
You
Little
need a
Italy.
minute?
I just love Little Italy. What do you want from me? Romeo and Juliet died. That's a bad example.
That's a bad example.
Oh, okay. That's the other thing that Little Italy has is Little Italy because it has like more, like just more characters for in the film. There's just like a lot of hunk. Like they
Yeah.
they just fit more hunk in there. Whereas like I think when Harry Met Sally, there's like 3 other dudes in that movie that have like major speaking roles, and I think Your Name has like 4 other ones,
Yeah,
right? Because there's
there's like the 2 friends, and then
Yeah.
also and then Mitsu has friends. and
Yeah,
then
there's
Mitsuha's
just-
father.
there's just more hunk per capita.
Yeah.
So to recap, Your Name takes romanticism in like a landslide kind of.
There's an argument for hunk above. When
There's
Harry
an
Met Sally.
argument for hunk, and if you want to make it, I believe in you. I believe in you. But we have agreed that Little Italy does take the categories of cheese and hunk. So now for the part of the show that I think only I did.
Well, only you prepared for, I think. Because
Yeah, but mine
I
is
don't know.
simple. Is that we're gonna try and pitch this date. These are all movie dates. So I don't know how this is gonna work. Jack, do you have any idea how you would make a movie date out of When Harry Met Sally? What?
I picked
okay, is
this
this
movie without having seen the movie.
what is okay? Let's
This is
let's brainstorm. Let's come up with a date for you. Cause this is a movie about like kind of giving up on the friend zone a little bit. Cause they're like in it for a while, and then they're like, but we should totally make out. We should do that sometime. Matthew, is this the kind of movie that you're like trying to introduce that idea of like, hey, you know that thing we don't do? We should.
You know, like, I mean,
I'm just gonna curl up in a ball here and die.
Hey, you know we should. We should make out sometime.
No,
Oh,
thank you.
I didn't mean us, Jack. You're too tall.
Alex, yeah, let's look out.
Oh, holy shit! I hit my back. Oh,
Yeah. Do you have any ideas for When Harry Met Sally? Is that what kind of date this is? Is this like, hey, listen,
I guess maybe.
it's the dumbest idea I've had today.
Let's go with your name first.
All right, yeah. Do you have any like what's the vibe for your name?
I mean, you just see these two people fall in love with each other. It's really, really charming and also just visually gorgeous.
That's true.
You get to see like some of the most stunning artwork ever put to screen. So I feel like that's a bonus.
Agreed. It's very emotional too. Like, I could see people like breaking down and crying at the end of this movie. Like, I totally see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
I say as I have cried after this movie all 4 times I have seen this movie.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but okay, great, you did it. And then Little Italy, the vibe of it, honestly, just like get some pizza and some wine. It's not complicated. Just like put down
Honestly-
a half a bottle,
Honestly, here's the thing. Yeah.
get nice and bloated.
Your name,
Pizza
you can get
and
some
wine
ramen.
while you watch the movie, or pizza and wine beforehand and then watch the movie.
I can imagine this movie being like 10 times funnier when drunk. I'll say that.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
This movie's probably
Pizza and
hilarious.
wine while watching.
Sure, either one. Because
Exactly.
actually that's true. You're gonna get hungry watching this because they stay making like some delicious.
There's so much pizza in there, you're gonna get hungry for sure.
Yeah, definitely get. I'm hungry now, honestly. Let's cut the show off. Yeah, I agree. Get yourself some food and a wine and just go to town on this movie, man. Have fun.
Make sure there's some oregano.
Anyway,
That ain't oregano.
make sure it's actually oregano or not. Whatever works best for you.
It's legal in your county.
It's
That
legal
ain't
in my
oregano.
entire country, so yeah, there's that.
That's a bad example.
I'm gonna make that a clip, but it's a bad example.
That's a bad example.
Okay, when Harry met Sally, diner date, and then go back and watch
Yeah.
the movie. I don't know.
That's actually I was gonna bring that up about When Harry Met Sally. When Harry Met
Fake
Sally is
orgasm.
short. Make what?
Fake orgasm.
Yeah. It's also kind of like a Christmas movie, like it's
is.
it's more holidays.
Just
Yeah,
Christmas
so-
and New Year's.
Honestly, yeah. This would make a great New Year's movie, honestly.
Yeah, just like a fun raunch movie that you could watch if you're not planning a New Year's party. Just invite someone over and watch When Harry Met Sally. See what happens. I don't know. Just see what happens. Just to see. Who knows? Maybe have a good time. Why are you so? You knew that's what this show was, Jack. You wrote half of the show.
I mean,
should've
I
picked the right
have to be here. I have to be here.
Oh my god. Oh, no one's gonna ever watch this show. This show's gonna be
No.
Yes.
that's where we're gonna keep making it. This show's great.
Just let me know when I can put the thumbnail back up so that I can just press end broadcast because we don't have an outro.
Okay, so anybody that happens to see this show, whether on purpose or like purely accidentally, let us know which one of these dates you'd rather go on. We're gonna put up a poll somewhere, probably the Ontel page.
Ontel page. It's going to be in the Ontel page. Look
Probably.
there for the poll.
Maybe check other pages. And just let us know because that person gets no prize whatsoever. They just get pure bragging rights.
When Harry
Which
Met Sally is gonna get the votes because it's the most popular one.
Damn right it is.
Yeah, because but then,
no,
here's the thing,
honestly,
it
here's
won
the
no
thing.
categories today.
Here's the thing. When Harry Met Sally, I have a hard time thinking of at what point you watch this movie with your partner, or like because this is not. I don't think this is like an early on
It's
relationship.
not a first date.
It's not a first date movie. Absolutely the hell not. Whereas Little Italy and Your Name, these could be first date movies. These could be movies you watch once you've been seeing each other for like 6 months, a year. You could put it on anytime and have a great date night. When Harry Met Sally, for a lot of the runtime, almost feels like an anti-romance movie before the second half of it kicks in and it becomes more of a romance. And so I have a hard time trying to figure out what kind of date to pitch this movie for. I guess I should pick a movie I've seen next time. But you know, I tried something and it didn't work. But I'm glad I did it because When Harry Met Sally is incredible. One of my favorite movies I saw for the first time this year. So that was great. But no, Your Name is, if I had to cast my vote, I'd probably go with Your Name just because that's one of my favorite films.
Jack, you can vote for your own movie.
I can, but I won't because I know I'm wrong anyway.
Matthew?
Yeah, Your Name.
See, that's how you do it. Yeah, you definitely just pick your own movie.
I feel like Jack shot himself in the foot by talking about how it's a bad date movie, but also
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's the thing: I'm going to be absolutely upfront about this.
So, okay, I'm gonna fight for When Harry Met Sally for some reason and say that there is a purpose. There is a date that you could go on for this movie, but you have to have had like a pre-existing like relationship with someone. Like, this is not like a, hey, do you want to watch When Harry Met Sally? Because it's gonna be awkward right away. It's gonna be awkward immediately.
Yep.
Unless you get a meat pastrami sandwich.
Yeah. Whereas I think Little Italy is kind of like the versatile pick. I think Your Name is like kind of like a long-term pick. Like, this is like a 6 months in kind of 1 year in kind of thing. Where, cause actually, that's how long Matthew's been trying to get me to see it, to be perfectly honest.
I picked Your Name solely to get Alex to watch it.
Yeah, he's been. I think I've had to watch it now for a while. Yeah.
Well, since the frenzy happened, you had to watch it.
Yeah, since frenzy. Hey, our friends at
yeah, that was the deal.
And, our friends over.
And I watched 2 episodes of Survivor because you made it that far.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not gonna spoil.
No, that's what happened. Yeah, and then Your Name is pretty versatile, but like I think that's like a long-term pick because the potential for tears kind of brings in some, you really want to be crying with someone that you're on a first date with. I mean, maybe some of you. Matthew's a sweet boy, whereas me and Jack are much more like, I don't know, let's laugh a little bit. I definitely cried making this show for the first time when we did the whole, hey, that's a bad example. And then just watch Lily whenever you can. It's really funny. I vote for Little Lily just because I like that one. It's more me than the other 2 are, but they're all really good. I think I gave them all like 5 stars. So whatever votes your vote.
Anything else? I've got no idea.
Nah, we kind of very loose. We had no idea how to end this show. So I guess let us know which date that you'd rather go on. If we don't make a poll, then just message us individually. Like, hey, I'd love to go on the Your Name date.
Or comment in the actual comments of this video. Anything works. Whatever.
Nah, message us individually, members of this community that we're friends with. Message us and be like, hey, I'd love to go on the Little Italy date with you. Let's go on a little kid date.
Let's go to Little Italy to watch Little Italy.
I'd do that. So anyway, for everybody that's not here from the regular Picture This Dorks, to everyone who is here from the Hunky Boys Date Night, that is myself, that is Jack, that is Matthew. We're your internet boyfriends. Goodbye.
Internet boyfriends?
Well, future internet boyfriends. I think we got a really